The true value of time. Time is life. Every sunrise gives you a new account filled with 24 golden hours. How you spend them writes the story of your destiny. Money can be lost and made again. Property can be sold and bought again. Reputation can fall and be rebuilt. But the moment that passes will never return. Most people treat time as if it were endless. They act as if tomorrow is guaranteed. They say, I will do it later, I will start next week, I have plenty of time. But later becomes never and the weeks turn into years. The tragedy is not that life ends too soon. The tragedy is that we waste so much of it while it lasts. Every hour has value greater than gold because time is the raw material of every achievement. Without it, there is no progress, no growth, no future. When you truly understand this truth, you stop throwing away your minutes on meaningless things. You begin to live with purpose. Time is not measured by the clock on the wall. It is measured by what you do with it. Two people can live the same number of hours, yet one builds a legacy while the other leaves nothing but regrets. The difference is not in the hours. The difference is in the awareness of how precious they are. Success is not found in the big events of life. It is built in the small moments that most people ignore. It is built in the quiet mornings when you study, plan, and prepare. It is built in the evenings when you reflect and learn. Every small act done with intention adds up to greatness. To value time, you must learn to see it clearly. Every task, every conversation, every choice either invests your time or wastes it. Ask yourself each day, is this action moving me toward my goals or pulling me away? When you begin to question how you spend your time, you start to control your life. The great ones understand this secret. They guard their hours because they know that every hour has the power to change their future. They do not trade their time for gossip or laziness. They trade it for learning, for health, for relationships that matter. When you treat time as treasure, it rewards you with peace, confidence, and results. When you treat it carelessly, it punishes you with stress, regret, and missed opportunity. The wise invest their hours, the foolish spend them without thought. Think about it. A man can lose all his money and still rebuild if he has time. But a man who loses time has lost the only resource that can create all others. That is why time is the master key to every door of success. From this day forward, promise yourself that you will not waste the most valuable asset you own. Protect it as if it were gold, because in truth it is more valuable than gold. Every moment you spend wisely brings you closer to the person you are meant to become. Every moment you waste takes you further away. Time is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally if you respect it. It will multiply your skills, your wealth, and your joy if you use it with purpose. Treat it right and it will serve you. Treat it wrong and it will betray you. So remember this lesson. Life is not measured in years but in used hours. Live each hour with intention. Fill each day with action that matters. Guard each week as if your future depends on it, because it does. That is the true value of time. The calendar, mirror of your priorities. The calendar is more than paper. It is the mirror of your priorities. It reveals what you truly value, not what you claim to value. If your calendar shows time for growth, then growth matters to you. If it shows time for health, then health matters to you. If it shows no time for family or learning, then those things are only wishes, not priorities. Look at any person's calendar and you can read their life. The schedule does not lie. It shows where their heart lives. It shows what their mind serves. The truth is simple. What you schedule happens. What you do not schedule disappears. Many people say they do not have enough time. But that is not true. Everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference is in the allocation. The winners do not manage more time. They manage the same time more carefully. They guard it, they plan it, and they live by it. The calendar is your personal contract with the future. Every block of time is a promise you make to yourself. When you fill it with what truly matters, you honor your own word. When you leave it open for anyone to take, you surrender control of your destiny. Most people let others write their calendar for them. A friend calls, they say yes. A request arrives, they say yes. An invitation appears, they say yes. Soon the days fill with activity but no progress. The calendar becomes a collection of obligations that bring no joy, no growth, no meaning. The danger is not laziness. The danger is misplaced energy. You can be busy from morning to night and still achieve nothing because your busyness serves no real purpose. That is why the calendar must be treated like gold. It must reflect your purpose, not other people's expectations. Every appointment, every meeting, every hour on that calendar is a piece of your life traded for something. Trade it for growth, not gossip. Trade it for creation, not distraction. Trade it for progress, not pressure. The calendar is the architecture of your life. Each block of time is a brick. What you build depends on what you schedule. Fill it with the right work and you will build a strong house of success. Fill it with noise and you will build a weak house of frustration. Take your calendar each week and look at it closely. Does it show time for health, relationships, reflection, and rest? If not, you are living by accident, not by design. Balance does not happen by luck. It happens by planning. If you want time for what matters, you must make it. When you defend your calendar, you defend your future. Do not tell people you are free when you have set time aside for your goals. Tell them you already have an appointment because you do. That appointment is with your dreams. The calendar also teaches discipline. When you write something down, you give it power. It moves from idea to commitment. The mind may forget, but the calendar reminds you daily. That is how goals become habits and habits become success. A clear calendar brings peace. You can see what must be done. You can see where your time goes. You no longer chase tasks blindly because you already know the plan. The organized person lives with less stress and more progress. The calendar is not just a tool for business. It is the foundation of personal growth. It helps you control the direction of your days. Without it, life controls you. With it, you control life. So sit with your calendar today. Erase what does not matter. Add what builds your future. Guard your blocks of time like treasure. Treat them as promises to yourself. Because that is what they are. Every person ends up living the design of their calendar, whether they realize it or not. Make sure yours is worth living. Let it reflect your highest values. Protecting your hours from thieves. Every day when you wake up, life gives you a small fortune. It is measured not in money but in hours. You receive 24 golden coins of time. How you spend them decides everything about your future. But there is a problem. There are thieves in the world who want to steal your hours. They do not come with masks or weapons. They come as distractions, laziness, meaningless conversations, and wasted habits. They take from you silently, one moment at a time. Most people never notice this theft. They think they are just resting or relaxing. They believe they have plenty of time left. But the truth is, every minute spent carelessly is a piece of life you can never recover. Some thieves are external. The phone that rings all day. The endless notifications that keep you jumping from one thought to another. The social media feed that swallows your focus. The gossip that adds nothing to your dreams. All of these are silent robbers of greatness. Other thieves live inside you. They are more dangerous because they disguise themselves as comfort. Procrastination tells you that tomorrow will be a better day to start. Fear whispers that you are not ready. Doubt tells you that maybe it will not work. These voices are professional thieves. They do not just steal your time. They steal your courage and your confidence too. Rohn once said that success is nothing more than a few small disciplines practiced every day, and failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Every time you let the thieves of distraction and laziness win, you lose another opportunity to grow. Protecting your hours begins with awareness. You must know who and what steals from you. Look at your day closely. Where do the hours go? How many of them are invested and how many are wasted? When you see the truth, you can begin to build a wall around your time. You protect your time by building boundaries. Not everyone deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every message deserves a reply. When you say yes to everything, you are really saying no to yourself. Guard your mornings because they decide your day. Guard your evenings because they decide your peace. Guard your energy because it fuels your dreams. The disciplined person treats time like money. They spend it where it grows. They do not throw it away on noise or nonsense. They understand that every hour has a purpose. They move with clarity because they know that focus is freedom. If someone constantly pulls you away from your goals, you must decide what matters more, your friendship or your future. Sometimes protecting your time means walking away from people who do not respect it. It is not selfish. It is survival. There will always be someone who wants your attention but not your improvement. There will always be something trying to pull you away from your path. That is why success requires the power to say no. No to drama. No to distraction. No to delay. Every no you say to waste is a yes you say to purpose. When you remove the thieves, your hours become powerful. You start to notice how much you can do in a single day when your focus is pure. You start to feel stronger because discipline builds pride. You sleep better because you know your time was well spent. Protecting your hours also means protecting your mind. What you allow in will shape what comes out. Be careful what you watch, what you listen to, and who you spend time with. If you walk with thinkers, you will start to think. If you walk with complainers, you will start to complain. Time multiplies whatever you surround it with. Every hour is like a seed. If you plant it in rich soil, it will grow into wisdom, health, and wealth. If you plant it in weeds, it will disappear into nothing. The choice is always yours. So build a simple rule for your life. If something adds value, keep it. If it wastes your time, cut it. If it grows, you invest in it. If it drains, you release it. You cannot build a great life surrounded by thieves. You must take full responsibility for your time because no one else will. People will take from you as much as you allow. So stop allowing. From this moment, decide that your time is sacred. Decide that your focus is gold. Decide that you will not give your hours to anything that does not move you forward. That decision alone will change your life. You will begin to walk differently. You will begin to speak differently. You will begin to think differently. Because when you respect your time, you begin to respect yourself. Protect your hours and you will protect your dreams. Protect your dreams and you will protect your destiny. That is how you rise from average to extraordinary. Not by chance. Not by luck. But by guarding the only treasure you truly own, your time. Designing a life by design, not by default. Life will design you if you do not design it first. Most people never sit down to plan their life. They drift from day to day, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them. They live by chance, not by choice. They wake up to whatever the world hands them and then wonder why their dreams never arrive. But success is never an accident. It is always a design. You cannot build a great house without a blueprint, and you cannot build a great life without a plan. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is not luck. It is design. Default living is easy. You do what everyone else does. You follow the routine. You accept the rules that others made. You settle for what you are given. But a designed life is different. It is built with intention. It is shaped by vision. It is guided by purpose. The first step in designing your life is clarity. You must decide what you truly want. Not what others want for you. Not what society says is success. But what makes your heart come alive. Because if you do not define success for yourself, the world will define it for you, and you may not like their definition. Ask yourself simple questions. What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of work do I want to do? What kind of relationships do I want to build? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? Write the answers down. Make them visible. Let them shape your decisions. Design means you do not let emotions run the show. You let principles guide the way. The designed life is not ruled by how you feel in the moment, but by the vision you hold for the future. You act according to your goals, not your moods. Every day you either design your life or drift in someone else's design. If you do not plan your day, someone else will use it for their purpose. If you do not set your priorities, someone else's priorities will fill your time. That is why you must guard your life with design. Look at the successful people you admire. They did not stumble into greatness. They built it block by block, habit by habit, choice by choice. They made a plan. They followed it. They adjusted when needed but never lost the vision. Design gives direction. It turns random activity into meaningful progress. When you live by design, every day has a purpose. Every morning becomes an opportunity to move closer to your goals. You no longer live by reaction. You live by intention. But design is not about perfection. It is about awareness. You will still make mistakes. You will still fall short at times. But because you have a design, you can correct your course. You can learn. You can grow. That is the power of intentional living. Living by default is like floating in a river. The current decides where you go. Living by design is like steering a boat. You control the direction. You decide the destination. The river may have waves, but your hand is on the wheel. To design your life, you must learn the art of saying no. No to distraction. No to negativity. No to anything that does not serve your purpose. Every yes must protect your design. Every decision must serve your vision. That is how discipline is born. Design also means balance. You do not chase one area of life at the cost of all others. You design for health. You design for family. You design for growth. You design for joy. A good design creates harmony, not chaos. You must revisit your design often. Life changes. Seasons change. Your design should evolve with it. Do not cling to an old plan that no longer fits your dreams. Redesign, refine, realign. That is how you keep growing. Remember this truth. The life you live is the result of the design you accept. If you do not like your results, change your design. Because design always comes before destiny. The greatest tragedy is not failing. The greatest tragedy is succeeding at the wrong thing. That happens when you live by default. You chase goals that are not yours. You climb ladders that lead to walls you never wanted to reach. But when you live by design, every achievement feels right because it matches your vision. Every success adds meaning because it was chosen by you. That is true success. That is freedom. Start today. Take a pen. Take a quiet hour. Sketch your design. Decide who you want to become. Decide how you will get there. Then begin to build it one decision at a time. Because the world will not design your dream for you. That is your job. The future belongs to those who build it deliberately. So live by design, not by default. Because default living costs you your destiny while design living creates it. The components of design. Every great design is built on components. You cannot build a life of purpose by accident. You must understand the parts that make it strong. Just like an architect uses bricks, beams, and blueprints, you too must use the right elements to design your destiny. The first component of design is vision. Vision gives life its direction. It answers the question, where are you going? Without vision, you wander in circles chasing things that do not matter. A clear vision pulls you forward. It gives your effort meaning. It reminds you why you started. When the road gets hard, the vision keeps you steady. The people who achieve great things are not always the smartest or the luckiest. They are simply the ones who can see further. They hold an image of their future so clear that it becomes impossible to ignore. They live today with tomorrow in mind. The second component is purpose. Purpose is the reason behind the vision. It is the why that fuels the what. You can have goals, but without purpose they will not last. Purpose gives your heart the strength to keep going when the body wants to stop. It turns ordinary work into sacred effort. When you live with purpose, you wake up with energy. You act with conviction. You know that every step matters because it connects to something greater than yourself. The third component is belief. You cannot design a powerful life if you do not believe you deserve one. Belief is the foundation of all creation. It is the invisible force that shapes visible results. You attract the opportunities you believe in. You act according to the limits you accept. If you believe you can grow, you will find ways to grow. If you believe you cannot, you will prove yourself right every time. Belief is the soil where every dream either grows or dies. So guard your belief. Feed it with truth, not fear. Surround it with possibility, not doubt. The fourth component is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between design and reality. Without discipline, the blueprint never becomes a building. Dreams without discipline remain drawings on paper. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling has left. It is showing up when you do not feel like it. It is working quietly while others are distracted. The world rewards discipline because it proves commitment. When you master discipline, you master design. The fifth component is environment. You cannot grow roses in cement. Your surroundings shape your results. If you live among negativity, your dreams will shrink. If you live among growth, your dreams will expand. You must build an environment that supports your design. Fill it with people who challenge you. Fill it with books that stretch you. Fill it with habits that strengthen you. Your environment should remind you daily of who you want to become. The sixth component is action. Nothing moves until you move. The world does not reward intention. It rewards execution. You can plan. You can dream. You can design. But if you never act, your design remains a wish. Action turns design into destiny. Do not wait for perfect timing. Start now. Adjust later. Every step forward refines the design. Every failure teaches something new. Motion creates clarity. Action brings momentum. The seventh component is reflection. Reflection is how you learn from your own story. It allows you to measure progress and correct mistakes. A life without reflection repeats the same errors. A life with reflection grows wiser with every season. Take time each week to look at your design. Ask yourself what worked. What needs improvement? What can be done better next time? Reflection keeps you humble, keeps you learning, keeps you growing. The eighth component is gratitude. Gratitude gives balance to ambition. Without it, success becomes hollow. With it, success becomes joyful. Gratitude reminds you to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. It turns pressure into peace and chaos into clarity. When you are thankful for what you have, you attract more of what you want. Gratitude turns your design into a celebration. And the final component is faith. Faith is the power that keeps your design alive when results are not visible. It is trusting the process when progress seems slow. It is believing in the seed before you see the tree. Faith keeps your spirit strong when the world says quit. It whispers keep going when fear says stop. Every great design takes time to unfold. Faith keeps you moving through the unseen. When these components work together, vision, purpose, belief, discipline, environment, action, reflection, gratitude, and faith, your design becomes unshakable. You become the architect of your destiny. You stop waiting for life to change and start shaping it with intention. Remember this truth. Design is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice. Every decision adds another line to the blueprint of your future. Every habit adds another brick to the building of your success. What you build is what you become. So take control. Review your components. Strengthen the weak ones. Celebrate the strong ones. Live each day as a designer, not a drifter. Because your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you create. When your design is strong, life bends in your favor. When your design is weak, life pushes you around. You decide which one it will be. Live with design. Walk with purpose. Act with faith. And you will build a life that reflects your highest vision. That is the art of life by design.